World War II, fact that marked history as one of the biggest and bloodiest wars in history, leaving towns, cities, even countries destroyed that would take a long time to rise again. But how well do we know the history? In order to understand what happened in World War II, we must know what happened before. The Industrial Revolution had arrived. The creation of new machines was something that amazed people and at the same time gave more power and wealth to those who already had it. That caused people in Europe to start to see themselves as enemies. The hatred was growing, and anything that happened in Europe would break the thread of peace. And so it was in 1914 when the First World War I began, an important fact for understand the Second World War. Europe was divided into two camps, one led by France and England, and the other led by Germany. In the end, Germany lost the war, surrendered, and agreed to pay all war expenses to the victors, which destroyed Germany economically. The crisis in Germany was so serious that it made many people angry. Among all those people was a young German named Adolf Hitler, who was in the ranks of the First World War. Hitler, angered by the crisis, decided to join politics, reaching the National Socialist Party, or better known by its abbreviation as Nazi. The party quickly seized power over Germany. The money that was directed to pay the war census of World War I was diverted to improve the economy of the country and the military budget. Germany, already led by the Nazi Party, made many enemies. Among all those were the Jewish population, the Soviet Union, and the communists, and finally any other country that wanted to put itself in front of Germany. The country's economy improved, and its military development went so far that they could invade other countries, with Poland being one of the first. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. It did not put up much resistance because when Germany invaded from the west, the Soviet Union invaded from the east. So between both invaded Poland. This marks the beginning of World War II, as France and England could not allow Germany to invade other countries, so after Poland they immediately declared war on Germany. They made alliances with other countries, calling themselves the Allies. But Germany was not going to be alone, so it looked for its own allies. Italy and Japan being the most powerful and calling themselves the soft powers. After taking over Poland, Germany invaded the countries of the Northern Europe, which could not do much against the German forces. These are the countries that Germany invaded. France had already expected an attack from Germany before the war, so as a precaution, the French put fortifications on the border with Germany to prevent them from passing through. Here were the fortifications. The Germans, trying to avoid these fortifications, surrounded the border passing through Holland and Belgium. The French, seeing the power of the Germans, decided to surrender, and the Germans took their capital in Paris. After avoiding these two countries, finally they take the French capital, called Paris. With the city of Paris occupied and great power over the people, Germany decided to focus on its next enemy, the Jewish population, and it is at this time that the death camps were used. Here we can see a death camp. Up to this point, the war was in favor of the Germans, and they felt ready to take the next step, to attack the Soviet Union. This operation was called Operation Red Bear and began in summer 1941. That same year, Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor base in the United States, causing them to go to war as part of the Allies. The entry of these two superpowers completely changed the course of the war. In 1942, the Allies began to take the advantage on the soft powers. In 1943, the Soviet Union advances unstoppably towards Germany. While on the other side, other countries such as England or the United States took Italy and recovered France. They recover France and also they take Italy. In April 1945, the capital of Berlin was taken by the Soviets. Hitler, seeing his defeat, decided to commit suicide with his family, creating the end of the war in Europe. On the other side, Japan could not stay in the front against the United States, but they did not surrender, so the power decided to use its secret weapon. A few months after the defeat of Germany, in August 1945, the United States dropped a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima, a few days later on Nagasaki, killing 300,000 Japanese civilians. Japan saw the power of the United States, and in the end, they surrendered, putting an end to the Second World War, since they were the last country fighting.